Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Dragon Ball Nation. Now, I've got you guys another video, what if video. I've done a what if video a while ago, and I didn't really take a break from them, but you know, I did other things to diversify, I guess. But today I got a discussion on what if Gohan continued training after the Cell Games, and I think a few of my subscribers have asked for this. I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head, but it's definitely something a lot of people talk about, so I want to give my thoughts. So, start off, obviously, we can assume that Chi-Chi just decided to let Gohan train. We don't really need a circumstance for it to make sense. We just need to answer the question of what he would, how strong it would be and how the rest of the series would play out. So obviously, he would be much stronger than he was before. Incredibly, much stronger than he was as a teenager. You may even be able to take into account a Zenkai boost he may have had after Cell. Whatever that would have boosted his power, we're not entirely certain of, because remember, as an adult, you know, a late teenager, he was weaker than he was when he fought Cell, even if you want to take into consideration a Zenkai boost. So yeah, think about that. So what kind of training would he actually be able to accomplish? Because you remember, Goku's dead, which he still would be. He wouldn't really have a training partner besides maybe Piccolo, because, you know, Vegeta trains primarily solo. I mean, in the boost cycle, he was shown training with Trunks, but that was later down the line. The first few years, Gohan's probably going to be training solo or with Piccolo, but it's not going to get him too far, I don't think. And the kind of training they're going to be doing, if he's training with Piccolo, Piccolo did go into the hyperbolic time chamber, but it's a very stressful place, and I don't think Gohan's going to have a lot of growth that's going to be able to happen if he's training in there with Piccolo. And if Piccolo decides to just train in the wilderness, because they're just doing, you know, casual training and all that, because there is no current threat. But yeah. So what potential does, I mean, obviously Gohan has great potential, but what's his limits to how strong he can actually get through training under the certain circumstances? Because we know Vegeta was in that gravity chamber, and I don't necessarily know if Gohan would have gone in there, because Vegeta would always be trained there. The last 5 years before the Buu saga started, there was a 2-year break, so I guess he could have used it before then if he really wanted to, but I doubt he would be. He would be using the hyperbolic time chamber sparingly, because it is a very stressful place. Remember, you're not going to want to stress your body too much. It could lead to some downsides, and there could be some moments where he wouldn't gain much at all, just like Vegeta and Trunks were shown to not really gain much power when they went into the time chamber again. But you know, that's another thing to take into account. And I personally believe that I don't think that Gohan would have achieved Super Saiyan 3 at all, because it was pretty clearly, you know, it could be interpreted, it was pretty clearly inferred, I guess, that Super Saiyan 3 is something that is obtained with otherworld, you know, training and those otherworldly circumstances, that, you know, Goku had the right mindset to be training his body like that. Gohan doesn't have the same mindset and spirit like Goku does. Now, something I can say that many of you may be thinking, like, that Gotenks could become Super Saiyan 3, and that's true. Gotenks saw Goku Goten and Trunks, they both saw Goku transform to a Super Saiyan 3. And then when they went to the time chamber, take note that Goten and Trunks both arguably have more potential than even Gohan, considering they were Super Saiyans at such a young age. They went to the time chamber knowing what they wanted to work for. Presumably they were going for the Super Saiyan 3, and they worked hard to train for that, and they got immensely powerful in their training together. And you gotta also remember that they were both sparring partners that were around the same strength, so they had some very great potential for growth in that situation. Now, just because Gohan would not, in my opinion, be able to achieve Super Saiyan 3, does not mean he wouldn't be strong enough to maybe defeat Fat Buu, and I'll get into that in a little bit. We've seen before, base forms can be your base form. Just because you can't do, you know, a higher transformation, doesn't mean your form can be you know, weaker than someone that had a higher transformation. We saw, and now I know it's not canon, but Gogeta was obviously stronger than Gotenks, and he was only a Super Saiyan 1. Because that's what it appears to be, and he was even stronger than a Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and that's because, you know, the whole fusion he was fusing, the fusees were much stronger than the other people. Now I know there's two fusions comparison. If you want our fusion comparison, Vegeta was stronger as well, obviously, but that can be argued because of the Potara A-Ring fusion, but we don't necessarily know if that's stronger or not. I'll touch upon that in our video, but it was inferred by the other guy that's a better fusion, but it's not very clear what he's talking about, whether it's the time limit or if it's just stronger in general. Now Gohan could possibly, because it's 7 years of straight training, but it's a variable degree of like how intense his training could be. He could be in the time chamber from time to time. He could be doing the gravity room in the earlier years. It's possible. But Vegeta, like I said, will be taking it up later on, and then he would bring Trunks in there. And you can even say that Gohan would be training Goten as well. And then Goten would be probably stronger than Trunks was, because, you know, Goten was only training with Chi-Chi at that point. So Goten was probably stronger. Gohan's base form would obviously be much greater than it was. And, you know, when Majin Buu and all that came around, he would obviously dispatch of everyone, Dabura included, easily, if we're going up to that point. And when Buu comes along, I'm not certain he'd be able to defeat Buu, because Buu, obviously, it was, you know, implied that Goku said he could have beaten Fat Buu. But if Gohan more than likely won't be as strong as Goku, in my opinion, in the Buu saga. I don't know if he's going to be able to handle Fat Buu necessarily. They might need to do the whole thing with the Elder Kai unlocked, you know, ability and all that. But we don't know if that's going to make him even stronger, or if that, you know, unlocking his potential was as strong as he could be. We don't know that. That's the problem here. But that's really my thoughts, guys. I think that he would still need to get his, you know, potential unlocked, and, you know, he hopefully wouldn't get absorbed by Super Buu after that. But those are my thoughts on it. I don't think that he'd be as strong as Goku, in my personal opinion, because his training wouldn't be as, you know, significant. He doesn't have that drive like Goku does. He doesn't have the fire and intensity in his training. So that's my thoughts on the topic here. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new around here. It'd help me out. Check out my other stuff. But I guess that's basically it, guys, and I'll catch you later.